What if the fabric for your next sewing project does not exist yet because you're going to be designing it? In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I created this custom print that I've used to make a dress. This video is in partnership with OríkìTextiles, which is a design tool that allows you to actually create surface patterns that you can use to make prints for your dresses, your shirts, homeware, and the possibilities are honestly endless. You don't need a background in design, you don't need a background in graphics, you don't need any kind of prior training to actually use this tool. And I'm going to be showing you guys the full process of how I made this print and how I made this dress as well. So everything is in this particular video. If you'd like to find out what this is, make sure to keep on watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. If you're someone like me who loves to work with prints, textiles, and you like to express yourself with colors and design, you definitely would enjoy this one. So have fun, check it out. Let me know if you have any questions. And with that out of the way, let's get straight into the video. Let's start with designing the print, and I'm going to be using OríkìGen by OríkìTextiles, which is a surface pattern design tool powered by AI that allows you to create gorgeous prints in about 20 seconds. I'm going to leave the link down below for you to try it out for yourself, but once you've created an account, you can go ahead and choose from the 3 options of membership. You do get a trial period for free, so you can use it, have a feel of it, and then decide on which of these tiers works best for you and your business. Once you've created your account, you can decide to upload an image and use that to design your pattern, or actually type out the text that you want your pattern to have. My design elements are going to be 3 things that reflect me, my daughter, and my husband. And I'm going to be creating a custom print that combines a penguin, a fox, and a sunflower. I want it to be summery. I want purple to be the base color, and I just asked the tool to choose any other complementary colors. You can also select from a few different styles: classic, tribal, nature, asymmetric, soft abstract, random, uniform, playful, urban, historic, or even Adira. So I went to the Adira option first to see what that would look like. This thing took less than 20 seconds to actually generate the pattern for me, and this is what it came up with, which I thought was actually really cute already. But you can go ahead and have a play around with the other styles to see if there's another one that fits the concept that you have in mind. You can also go back to the text box and change the description of the pattern, so maybe if you want something extra added or something removed. Honestly, the more specific your description is, the more closer to what your outcome in your head would be. You can also download the file in these formats, and I had a good time playing around. I made several versions, and you can also see what the surface pattern will look like on a t-shirt, on a dress, on a pillow. You should get a better sense of what it should actually look like on a garment before you download and you print it onto fabric. I think this part of the tool is actually quite cool. I say they can definitely add more garments here, maybe like a skirt or a pair of pants, so there's more variety, but I think it's like a good starting point. I knew I wanted to go ahead with the first version of the pattern I designed, and this I took onto a website called Make. On here you upload your custom print design and you choose what fabric you want. I wanted a cotton fabric. I chose cotton poplin to be precise, which is a lot more crisp. It's not as heavy as 100% cotton, like organic cotton. Poplin is a little bit lighter. It has a slightly more parachutey feel, for lack of better words, and that I ordered a few meters because I want to make something for myself, my husband, and my daughter. This is what the fabric looks like. The color payoff actually looks really good. It's slightly different from the design on the website, but that's something to keep in mind when you're creating custom patterns, is the color saturation will change depending on the fabric you print it on. The design I'm going to be making for this dress is a simple kimono style dress that has the sleeve and the body in one piece, but I'm going to be adding elastic tunnels to the waist to give me some shape and definition. The neckline is going to be like a simple boat neckline, and the length is a midi length. I've drafted out my measurements and plans on my Make Mode planner, which will give me a lot of clarity as I create this piece. In addition to the fabric for this dress style, you'll also be needing some bias tape to create the elastic tunnel as well as elastic band. This one is 1 centimeter wide. And these are the measurements that I worked with. So your dress length, neckline width, the dress width, the sleeve arm or the arm opening, and then the sleeve length. The way I'm going to be cutting this dress is straight onto fabric, and I folded my fabric twice. So once like this, so vertically, and then another time like so the shoulder doesn't have any seams. And I know once I cut one, I have the front and the back. Just ensure that the fold is even in the sense that the fabric under is not folded weirdly or there are no wrinkles. Also that the length of your fabric is your total dress length, so you have enough to cover the entire front and back of your dress. Once that was all laid out in place, I'm going to go ahead and actually start planning the dress. From this edge, I'm going to be marking 6 inches inwards. That's the width of my neckline. It's pretty wide because I didn't want to add a button or a zip, so I could just put it over my head and the dress is on. The depth is 2 inches, so it's like a slight boat neckline. You could make it even higher, so do like 1 or 1.5, but you have to have it wide if you want the dress to be able to go over your head. I'm just going in here to draw in the neckline, which is kind of like an elongated round neck. And for my sleeve length, I worked with 19 inches, which ended up being about 3/4, and this you would measure from the bottom fold edge inwards of your fabric. I'm going in here to draw the edge or the hemline of my sleeve in this direction, so it goes from the top folded edge downwards. My sleeve itself, it is 11 inches wide. It is on the wider side because this is a summer dress. I want breeze to blow me. I want it to be airy and free, and it's squarey along this bottom here, but I'm going to curve it back into the body of the dress. But for that to happen, I'm going to measure 16 inches, which is the distance from my shoulder to my waist. I'm going to measure that in this direction like this, because that would help me actually gauge how wide I need to make my dress to be. So I'm drawing in a waistline straight onto the fabric. I'm using chalk, which washes off, and then I'm going to be marking my dress width. You want to choose a width that is really loose and comfortable. So if your hip is your widest part, use that as your guide. Add enough, I'll say 2 to 3 inches minimum, and then you divide that by 4 to get the width of your dress. My dress length is 45 inches, so it's midi. I would recommend adding about 1 to 2 inches extra, because the moment you add the elastic, the dress will shift up a little bit, so just keep that in mind. Here I'm drawing in the dress hemline. So my total length 45, and I'm drawing in the hemline like so. So this allows me to actually go in and mark the width along the hem. So it's going to be the same width on the waist and the hem of mine was 15 inches, and I'm going to draw and connect that back to the waistline on the side of my dress. Once that is all done, the next thing I'm going to do is actually grab the bias tape and mark the bottom edge or the other side along the side seam, because this is actually going to guide me when it's time to stitch this onto the garment. I want a second tunnel that is 2 inches below, so I'm going to mark 2 inches away from the bottom edge of the first one, and then use the bias tape kind of like as a reference on how wide this should be. I would recommend you choose a bias tape that actually fits your elastics, so everything sits comfortably on the inside of your garment. Once I was done measuring and marking everything, I'm going ahead to actually cut out my dress. I'm adding about 1 to 2 centimeters around the choke line as my seam allowance, because I need that extra measurement to actually stitch the garment in place. So this is the kimono dress, shall we call it that, the kimono dress all cut out. The cool thing with this technique is you literally just have the one piece, but don't forget to cut your notches along the side, because this is going to ensure that you stitch on the tunnel straight, and when they are joined along the side seam, it actually matches along the side seam. So remember to cut with a tiny scissors, and any other notch that you might have Also, you need to cut like a 2-inch wide like band or strip to finish the neckline. You could also use bias tape. I ran out of bias tape, which was why I ended up doing this. So measure around the neckline and then cut a strip that is that length, and in terms of width is 2 inches wide. So that's how I'm going to be finishing the neckline of the dress. But with all those pieces cut out, it's actually time to get into sewing this piece together. So I'm going to open it up, spread it out so I can see the main body of the dress like so, and I'm going to actually find those notches that I made on the side and join the bias tape to the wrong side of the fabric. So I'm starting from one side, matching the bias tape to the notched edges, and then just pinning along the middle. If you want even more precision, you can go in with a chalk and a long ruler and literally draw with like a chalk, and then you just have to match your bias tape to the chalk line if you don't want to do the method I'm doing here. But that was one way. It's kind of like remove guessing out of doing this. So I've pinned both bias tapes to the 2 tunnels I want to have on this side of the dress, and I'm going to be sewing the 2 edges of the tape to create casing or a space for the elastic to actually go into. This I'm going to repeat on the other side because I want the elastic detail to be on the front and on the back. It's like a way to get the shearing effect without using a shearing thread. You essentially just make a little hole for the elastic, pass it through, and then you stitch it up. So I'm sewing this on my machine, sewing very close to the edge of the bias tape, sew on one side and then go back and sew on the other side, leaving enough space in the middle for my elastic to actually sit. So this is what the casing or the elastic tunnel looks like all stitched up. I'm going to cut an elastic that actually is half the length of this entire like width of your dress. So whatever the width of your dress is, you cut an elastic that is half of that width and you pass that through into the tunnel using a safety pin. Half length because you want the elastic to be shorter than the actual width to, you know, create the gathering effect that you can see here. So this I'm going to do for this particular one and then repeat it for the second tunnel and repeat it for the other side of the dress, so we have everything ready to be stitched up along the side seam. Here's a closer look of what the dress is looking like so far. Remember to just adjust the gathering that the elastic has created on both sides, and once everything has been adjusted and you're happy with it, it's actually time to join up the side seams. Try as much as possible to actually match the tunnels along the side. Just looks a lot nicer, looks a lot more professionally made when patterns or seams can actually match at important sections such as the side seam. So I'm going to be sewing on my 1 cm seam allowance on the side, so from under the sleeve area down to the side all the way to the hem. And from adding this elastic detailing, the dress shifts from a boxy silhouette to more of an A-line shape, which is a clever way to actually add definition to a dress that would have otherwise looked like a sack of potatoes. So this, I'm just going in here to trim off any excess elastic, and I'm actually using a zigzag stitch to secure my seam. You can use an overlocker if you want to, you can use a bias tape, you can do the French seam technique if you would like. I have a video about sharing like different types of seam options to finish your garments, but I'm going in here to actually fold and sew the edges of the sleeve. So this I am folding by 1 cm twice, and I'm going to be sewing closer to the fold edge on the inside all the way around. I have just pushed in the sleeve in such a way that I'm essentially just feeding it through until I reach the other side of my seam, secure that with a back stitch, and then repeat on the other sleeve as well as the hemline or the bottom edge of the dress. So far so good. At this point you can test it to see if you want to make any changes, but I know what is left is actually finishing the neckline. The neckline I'm going to be finishing with this strip of fabric that I cut in the same material, and I'm essentially going to use it like how I would use a bias tape. So first I'm going to pin right sides together, folding the beginning edge, that's important. So pin it like so all the way around the neckline, And once I'm done pinning it like this, I'm going to be joining this collar detail. Can we call it that? Let's just call it this neckline collar detail. I'm going to be joining this in 2 steps. So the first step is, once it's been pinned up, you cut off any excess, take it to your machine, and then you would essentially sew on the 1 cm or however much seam allowance you added to your piece when you were cutting it out. You sew like that around the entire neckline of your piece. This is how you finish your neckline. This is how you hide any raw edges. It also works really well if you use the same fabric. So if you're walking around and the neckline is moving, you don't see a contrasting fabric or bias tape, which is why I opted for this option. Now the other step of finishing the neckline is you would fold it twice like this, and you hide the seam and the raw edge of your fabric this way. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold it all the way around, add a couple of pins. You can even give it a press. You can do a very loose wide basting stitch just to lock it in place. But because of how the neckline is shaped, I knew I would not be able to get a nice finish on the edges, the sides, if I just go ahead and sew it like this. So I'm actually going to be sewing this by hand. It took a while, but it was definitely worth it. It also made the piece feel a lot more special because it's a print that I made. It represents my family. I just wanted the dress to be made really well, so I could wear it for a long time. It's that special to me. So I'm going to grab my needle and thread, and then just pick up a little bit of the fabric on the dress, and then pull that through the collar bias situation that we have, and pull the thread all the way through to secure that stitch. Here is a closer look of what that looks like. So a little bit of the fabric on the dress through the folded edge of the bias detailing in the same fabric, and essentially I just did that all the way around to sew and finish up the neckline of the dress. So this is what it looks like all done. I went ahead to press everything nicely. Maria was obsessed. She just kept going penguin. She didn't even fully understand what it was, but all she could see was a penguin, and that to me means the project and the dress was a success. I'm going to make a matching one for her, literally the same shape, the same silhouettes, in the same fabric, so I can twin with my baby girl. But this is the dress all done. I had so much fun working on this project. The dress itself did not take a lot of time. I'll say about 2 hours tops for the actual cutting and the sewing. The elastic detail adds a very nice touch and definition to the waistline of the dress. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I'm going to be linking OríkìTextiles OríkìGen, the link down below for you to try it out for yourself, so you're able to create your own beautiful custom prints for your next project. Until my next video, have a good morning, afternoon and evening wherever you are, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.